The Indigenous women's business sector in Australia is diverse and growing. We spoke to a couple of entrepreneurs in Sydney.
My name's Kristal Kinsela and I'm the owner-director of Kristal Kinsela Consulting Proprietary Limited. I'm a proud Aboriginal woman. My mob's from Wiradjuri and Jarwin, from Condobolin in central New South Wales, and on my grandmother's side from up in Pine Creek in Northern Territory. So my business is a small consulting business. I started in January 2015. I'm very fortunate that I get to work from home. I'm based in Sydney, but I have a national reach. I'm able to go to wherever the client's based to work with them on site or work wherever they need me to be. I've travelled in my business all around Australia. I've travelled as far as Darwin to Perth to Brisbane and down to Melbourne and Canberra. Basically, I provide 3 key services to corporate and government and the not-for-profit sector. So those are coaching, training and development and facilitation. Some of the specific challenges for Indigenous entrepreneurs in Australia, I think, are access to capital to be able to grow your business. So a lot of us start, just like I have, start out of your home and are really small, and you need to have a capital base to be able to grow. I went into business for myself because I wanted to create a job. I was living in a community where there wasn't a lot of job opportunities, and creating a small business just seemed like the right thing to do. I think that there is a view in Australia that there are no Indigenous female entrepreneurs. I think that's because we're little known, we're not really seen, we're not really actually seen as seen in the broader community or well known or promoted for what we do. But there's such a foray of Indigenous entrepreneurs that are out there that are doing great things.
Mayrah Sonter is the co-founder of 33 Creative. She is a proud Wiradjuri woman and supporter of Indigenous entrepreneurs.
The journey started about 2 years ago, and my business partner and I started 33 Creative. We worked at home for 6 months, just building up the cash flow and making sure that we developed the business from the ground up without wasting our money before we moved into an office. It's an Indigenous media communications and events company. We do lots of work all around the country, federal, state government, local government as well, and also do some work with corporates. And so that ranges from a whole bunch of things. We do some big campaigns for the federal government, but we also work doing events for the City of Sydney, such as their NAIDOC in the City event, lots of design work, communications, some PR as well. So it's a broad spectrum of communication type products. During the month of March each year, 33 Creative uses our website and our social media platforms to celebrate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women entrepreneurs. We started it last year when we were a very new business, and it kind of helped to position our business and what we're about and where our values lie. And we are very inspired every day by the Aboriginal women in business. And we know that those stories don't get out there that much. So we used our platform to do that. And I think last year we had about 7 or 8, but we really pushed ourselves this year and we did one each day, which was amazing. So yeah, we had 30 something women, all different ranges of businesses, ages from right around the country as well. And it was just celebrating them and the diversity that exists in the Indigenous women's business sector.
Since 2009, Supply Nation has been connecting Indigenous businesses with corporate and government buyers. During the month of May, Supply Nation held their annual conference at Australian Technology Park in Sydney.
I think it's a great time for women Indigenous entrepreneurs in Australia. In fact, I think it's probably never been a better time for Indigenous women entrepreneurs. There's a lot of growth in the sector at the moment, and with the federal government introducing the Indigenous procurement policy in July last year, that growth is really being seen now, and so it's a great time for business owners to get involved and see real results. In 2014, Indigenous female entrepreneurs outweighed the number of male Indigenous entrepreneurs, and that number would be absolutely growing. We're really excited about the numbers at Connect this year. We're expecting over 1,700 delegates over the 3 events in the next 2 days. Delegates have come from across Australia to be here. This is a national conference, and we have businesses from as far as Perth and Darwin, all here today to connect and do business. Connect is exactly as the name suggests. It's all about bringing Indigenous businesses and Supply Nation's member organisations together to make connections, to engage with each other, and hopefully that leads to contracts and more more wealth flowing into the Indigenous business sector. The theme this year is Innovation for Impact, and this year we're exploring what innovation means in the context of supply diversity and what organisations can do to create innovative solutions to have more Indigenous businesses in their supply chain.
Kayleen Bell, Impetus Oz.